members directly to serve on the committee. All right, so now we are on to School Board Title IX Committee discussion. Mr. Reynolds, you had some issues that you wanted to bring forward, so at this time, please give us your discussion.
The discussion topic for everybody here is a Title IX committee. What I'm calling for is, I am on the Title IX. I'm a member on the Title IX committee. I volunteered for that back when I got elected in May, along with Mrs. Rhodes. And I'm calling for a Title IX committee meeting for the public to be informed on the Title IX issues that the school has been under since 2009. 2009. We are currently still being monitored from 2009 on 6 cases. And I'm calling for a committee meeting to discuss these issues and get this Title IX issue behind this school. It's time. It's going on 6 years. I'm not feeling that our administration's handling it. I volunteered for this position to do so, and I'm calling for a committee meeting to address these issues that are still being monitored by the Office of Civil Rights. That's it.
Okay. I would like to have everybody have a chance to talk before I talk. Anybody have anything to say here on that for you guys? Everybody at the table here?
Well, as far as committee meetings and a way that's for the public to understand that when we have our May organizational meeting, the board members are asked to serve on certain committees. Now, some of those committees, let me put it this way, to serve on committees if in fact the board deems that particular topic to be something that there needs to be a committee meeting about. Now, in the past, the Title IX committee, as far as I know, and I've been on the board for 12 years, has never met. And the scope of the Title IX committee, at least from my understanding, was to deal with sexual harassment that might happen within the school bounds. We have a Title IX representative there, a teacher who handles that. And then if there were a situation that needed to come before the board, that's when we would have a committee meeting on that particular issue. The issue that Mr. Reynolds is speaking about is something that's been dealt with by our administration and our legal attorney. It's not, I mean, a committee meeting isn't something that, as a member of the committee, I can just ask for a meeting to be called. That is something that, as a board, if we felt like there was something that we needed to address or we needed to understand more clearly, that as a board we could vote to stipulate that that committee meets, gathers that information, and then brings that back to us, so as a board we would better understand what it is that we need to understand. So with that, Mr. Reynolds, Mr. McGee has kept us totally abreast of what has been going on with these particular situations that you cited. And personally, I don't think we need to have a Title IX committee meeting because I think it's something that's being dealt with and has been dealt with.
The question, when is he giving you that information?
We had a meeting, or at our, I think it was our June work meeting.
Various board meetings throughout the at least 4 years that
In his report.
It's been in the report.
It's been in the report. We've had our
the attorney's been here
2 times and report on her findings and what's taken place.
Have you ever contacted the Office of Civil Rights?
I
The freedom of
believe I've
information.
seen a letter from the Office of Civil Rights.
You what?
I think I've seen a letter from the Office of
You
Civil
have?
Rights.
So you guys, are you aware of the 6 open cases? You know what they are?
I know that we've had questions that have arisen, that our attorney has been on top of it, has investigated it. It's all happened through the legal process. And Their reports come back, that many of those have been resolved. Some of them are still in the works. It's a legal process, especially when you're working with the entity that
That's
we're working
incorrect,
with.
they're all still, I have this from
Okay,
the
fine,
house.
well, I mean, the result is.
That is why I'm calling for a meeting, because
Okay.
there's information being passed that is incorrect. Our superintendent told us at the November board meeting that we are in full compliance. That is incorrect information.
Well, we have had our attorney speak to us twice, who I trust, who has dealt with this on the legal side of it, and has given us her opinion.
Let me just ask, what are they classifying as open cases? To them, open cases, it would seem to me, would be cases that they are continuing to monitor our compliance to the agreements that we said. And those cases are going to be open for them indefinitely, until they've decided that their monitoring of our compliance then has been to an extent that they are saying, okay, we've got it, we're done. When Mrs. Culliva came to the meeting last and reported, the two most recent complaints to OCR were found to have no merit. And that was from her direct communication with them. So what if they've sent you a list of their open cases, that, I think that you may be misunderstanding what they mean by open versus what that means to us. Again, I haven't spoken to them, it's not necessarily our job to communicate directly to them. But I am in agreement with Vicki here that committee work happens at the need of the board based on an issue that we see needs investigation or fact-finding outside of the table here. So I don't think that we need to call for a committee. These specific issues that you have, they need to be talked about right here at the table. Right now here at the table or at a further meeting down the road. That's the kind of material that needs to be at these regular board meetings.
And I might make a suggestion that if you have these particular issues, that we invite Mrs. Culliva, who has firsthand knowledge of dealing with these particular issues, so that she can answer your questions, Mr.
Wouldn't that be a great time for a Title IX committee meeting?
Well, no, I think
The
this is
Title IX
something.
committee, though, the scope of Title IX committee, like Mrs. Cornish said, is not to be out in taking.
What are they for? Why are we
It's
calling?
only, that committee only is for if there is a complaint against the school that then follows the chain of command and the chain of the complaint procedure, which these complaints that you're looking at did not. So the Title IX committee was never involved in having meetings about that because the chain of steps was skipped, as Mr. McGee talked about at previous meetings. So if the complaint had actually come to the school instead of going directly to Title IX or to OCR, then the complaint would have been potentially reviewed by a committee. We would have maybe asked that committee to meet. But since that didn't happen, there was no committee work to be done. So that's how we went pretty much right to lawyers.
Got a lot of false information. I'm sorry.
So, if you feel that we're completely off base here, we're happy to have Mrs. Culliva come and talk to you.
I
And
really
if
don't
you-
want to spend any more money of the district's
If
taxpayers.
you
We don't
feel
need
that,
that.
if
We
you
need to
feel
get
that
out
your
of-
information is better than what she has, or different or more than what she has, then, I would like for you to get a
I would be
representative
happy to
from
find that at a
offices.
Title IX committee meeting.
I
I don't
would-
want to pay a lawyer.
I-
I've followed this since 2009. I know more about this case than you have any idea.
I'm sure you
I've got
do.
500 pages on it,
Okay, I'm sure you do.
and I've read every bit.
But if the, but you need to, we are acting on the advice of our attorney, and so if you feel that's completely out in the weeds,
Well,
then,
that's not correct information.
then I would recommend that you get a representative from the Office of Civil Rights here to join us at a meeting, and let's talk about it right here at the table. That's not committee work. The importance of this issue is not committee work.
Where's
It's
all this
work-
written down that you're
It's
telling
work
me?
for us here at the
And
table.
what policy is this in?
I can't cite the number to you, but I'll
It's there
look it up
somewhere?
for you.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. So, we are not gonna have a Title IX committee, committee meeting
Oh, you're
to address.
deciding that now?
We're
Thought we were
deciding
voting
that.
on that.
No, we're not voting on it,
Wow.
okay?
May I ask a question?
Okay, hold on. So here's the
We're
thing.
not voting on. Okay.
No, we're
Even
not
though it was
voting on.
on here to, okay.
It's
Says
an information item,
Or, what
or
else
we
did it say?
could vote on it.
No, it's
So-
a board director.
So I can do, okay, let's back up then. So, let's take a poll around the table and find out whether everybody thinks we need to have a committee
All
or
the
not.
board members done speaking on the issue for Mel or Dorothy?
So that's what we're gonna do, we're gonna talk about other people to speak now.
I'm calling for a vote.
So, I don't have a motion yet, so I can't call for a vote. So, gotta have a motion to vote on.
I understand that. That's what
So-
I'm saying.
So, Mr. Finley, what do you think?
Well, I think, like I say, Colby, I've seen a letter from this here. These things, they come and they go. It's an ongoing thing. I've been on this board for 5 years, and there's always an OCR thing that is coming or getting resolved.
I'm telling you,
It's
now
an
they're not
ongoing thing. It
resolved.
never
No,
stops.
they are not resolved.
You
Just
say
give me the
that,
information.
somebody else says it is resolved. I gotta have a lawyer that tells me
Okay.
to,
Okay, that's fine.
to,
Just informing you of the information
figure
I
it
have
out.
for you, Mel. That's fine.
where'd you get the information?
Office of Civil Rights, I'm the investigating officer of that, our case. Through the Freedom of Information Act. It's right here, you guys can get it yourself. I did, it's available for anybody that wants it.
What's the
Any
guy's, what's
public-
the guy's name?
11 Kravowska.
11?
Kravowska. You guys should know that, we've been in Title IX since '09. This is shameful for us to be discriminating against our kids and want to fix it.
I will say that it does take lots of time.
Well, I know what it takes, and every other school is in and out of them in a year. We're in it for 6. That's no other school in the nation doing that. And all this is information you guys can find if you want to find, if you want to look, if you want to do the research. I did. I took the time. It's free.
Yeah, what are the, what's the issues?
Well, let's see, we got equipment, female discrimination for equipment and supplies, discrimination against females for scheduling of games and practice, discrimination against females for travel and per diem, discrimination against females for locker rooms, competitive practice facilities, discrimination against females for denial of benefits. Should I go on?
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask,
Mr.
I'm gonna
Grabowski
ask
said that
Mr.
is not
Grabowski
true?
to
No, I
comment.
said that is not accurate on open comments of what we've been told.
Well, then who's telling you this information?
Our
Our,
Well, I
your
was gonna say
attorney?
those last two
And the letter
things,
from,
those last two things, those were two of the things that the attorney said specifically that in her negotiations with OCR found to be, the complaints were found to be
Those were
without
probably,
merit.
they were repeated. That's why they were closed. They were already open in another case. So you misunderstood. It's all right here, guys, if you want to understand it. I'm trying to explain it to you.
I would suggest that you get a representative
I
from
don't want to
OCR.
represent, I want to have a Title IX committee meeting. That's what I'm asking for. And give all my information to the public, explain to everybody what's going on, and stop the discrimination
This is
in
it
our
right
school.
here, this is your time right now
I'm
to do
asking
it.
for, we have committee meetings for this purpose.
We don't
And
need
if
a
you don't
committee
want it,
meeting,
if
we
you
need
guys
to do
don't
it
want to
right
approve
now
that, then
at
vote
this
against
meeting.
it. That's what we
Okay,
need
well,
to carry
I
on.
would suggest that at our next scheduled meeting in February that we have Ms. Culliva come